Hola, estudiantes. We're going to talk about stem-changing verbs today, and we've already learned two types, but today we're going to talk about E to I stem-changing verbs. Okay, you have already learned how to conjugate E to IE and O to UE stem-changing verbs. Here's some examples. The first one is an E to IE. La película empieza a las 7, which means that the movie begins at 7. And then the second example is one of an O to UE stem-changing verb. Yo puedo hablar español. I can speak Spanish. There are three types of stem changers. So we know E to IE, and we know O to UE. The last kind is E to I, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So three types of stem changers. Let's review the E to IE and the O to UE. So here are a list of E to IE stem-changing verbs. Querer means to want. Empezar, to begin. Pensar, to plan or to think. Preferir, to prefer. Entender, to understand. And cerrar, to close. Okay, pause the video at this time and fill out part A of your note guide. We also have O to UE stem-changing verbs. Okay, so on the right we have a list. We have encontrar, to find. Costar, to cost. Almorzar, to eat lunch. Dormir, to sleep. Poder, to be able, or it's often referred to as the can verb. Volver is to return or to go back. And remember that we have placed jugar in this category as well because the U will change to UE. And jugar means to play. So pause the video and fill out part B of the note guide. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about our new E to I stem-changing verbs. So this is our third kind. Stem-changing verbs, remember, have regular conjugation endings in the present tense. So notice we have learned these and been practicing them all year. You should remember that AR verbs are o, as, a, amos, an. ER verbs are o, es, a, amos, ein. And IR verbs are o, es, a, emos, ein. Okay. The E changes to I in all forms except nosotros and vosotros with verbs such as, for example, servir. Notice that the E has changed to I in the example. Yo sirvo means I serve. But remember, because we don't stem change in nosotros, notice that in the last example we didn't stem change. Servimos means we serve. Okay, so you only have two verbs that you need to remember that stem change from E to I. Remember that these two verbs, servir and pedir, are E to I. They are not E to IE, they are E to I. So servir is to serve and pedir is to order or to ask for. So pause the video and fill out part C of your note guide. Okay, so here's an example of servir conjugated in the present tense form. Okay, so let's go through. Remember, it means to serve, but when you conjugate it, you say things like I serve, you serve, and so on. So, yo sirvo, tú sirves, usted sirve, él sirve, ella sirve. Nosotros servimos. Remember, we did not stem change because it's the nosotros. Ustedes sirven, ellos sirven, and ellas sirven. So, pause the video at this time and fill out part D. Remember to draw the shoe around the ones that change. Okay, now here's an example of the verb pedir. Remember, it means to order or to ask for. It is the other E to I stem-changing verb. So, yo pido, tú pides, usted, él, ella pide, nosotros pedimos, ustedes, ellos, ellas piden. Okay, some example sentences for you using these E to I stem-changing verbs. El restaurante sirve enchiladas muy ricas. Okay, so the restaurant serves very tasty enchiladas. So remember that because restaurant is not a person, we have to think of it in terms of gender and singular or plural. So because it's singular and masculine, it's like saying he. So we would conjugate servir in the he form. Okay? Look at the next one. Mis tías sirven bebidas en la fiesta de aniversario de mis abuelos. My aunts serve beverages at the anniversary of my grandparents' party. Or sorry, that was kind of a strange translation. So at the anniversary party of my grandparents. Okay, so notice we stem changed E to I. Okay, the next one, ¿tú pides el pescado o el pollo? Are you ordering the fish or the chicken? Okay, so pedir remembers to order or ask for. And then the last one, nosotros pedimos ayuda en la clase. We ask for help in class. Okay, practiquemos. Número uno. Okay, let's conjugate. We want to say, I order dessert with dinner. Okay, remember that pedir is an E to I. We do want a stem change here, so the answer would be pido. Dos. Juan asks for paper to write. Okay, so we want to conjugate and we want a stem change, so the answer here is pide. Tres. We ask for the check. Okay, remember we do not stem change in nosotros, so for this one we'll leave the E in and it will say nosotros pedimos la cuenta. Okay, cuatro. My parents serve lunch. Okay, so for this one we need to stem change and conjugate. So sirven would be the correct form. And then the last one, is the waiter serving the food now? So again, we need to stem change and conjugate. So here we'll say sirve. If you have additional questions, please see the notes provided on page 228 of your textbook. And don't forget to complete activity E on your note guide where it asks you to translate the sentences, okay? And don't forget that you will have a flipped mini quiz when you come in tomorrow. Adios.